Hello, and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge, Ontario for fucking episode 108. How are you today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm not so bad.
All right.
Here, watching footage of myself playing Lords of the Fallen, and I kind of want to play it again now tonight.
Yeah, it looks very like Souls.
It is a,
You know, it was one of the original.
It is the original Soulslike.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the original Soulslike, and it's pretty good.
crazy.
It's a bit clunky and slow, I guess, for my taste. I like Sekiro's take on the genre the best, of course. Fast and zippy and without a stamina bar altogether, but this game is so easy to just run out of stamina and get locked into your...
Yeah, it's very much, obviously. If it was one of the original Souls-like, it would have definitely been like that. I remember wanting to play it at the time, but I never managed to get into it.
It's a good game. I haven't either for a long time. I don't know why. I had this impression it wasn't stacked with cool bosses, but it definitely has a bunch of them. A bunch of really cool bosses. Of this weird race of monstrous muscle armor guys, yeah. I don't know what their deal is. They're from another dimension, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, man, it's cool. What's new with you? What have you been playing this week?
Nothing new, to be honest. I mean, I jumped into Tales a little bit to try and clean that up, like I think I said recently. I'm kind of...
Want some of this IPA, of course?
Yes. Kind of stuck at a boss, so I don't know how that's gonna go. For some reason I want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, but like I've already got like 80 hours into that. You know, I'm like probably a little more than halfway on hard mode, and it's very difficult, so I'm kind of like I'm a little bit struggling with what to play, as I just got my 8th badge in Pokemon and Brilliant Diamond. Been playing Battlefield a little bit, but I won't tell anybody that because it's a terrible game, apparently. And
you'll be ostracized from the Republic of Gamers.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be cast away. So, I think mainly looking forward to what's coming. But what about you? Still slugging in Valheim and shit, right?
I played a bit of this, Lords of the Fallen, recently. I played Grime again. Conquered a boss that was really destroying me.
Yeah, fuck.
You know, for a while, like, made me put the game down. This guy called Shapely Figus. I don't know. He's like a hand. His body is a hand.
Master hand.
Got many these two phases that are radically distinct the way it felt to me, and it took a long time to remember the patterns and react.
Shit.
And that game is too, like, really, like, the stamina is a huge limitation. It's so easy to run out. You have to really, like...
Yeah, because this is like more traditional Souls, right? With that.
Yeah, Grime is like, it's not like exactly like Blasphemous, which I would say is incredibly plotting and measured. You know, you really have to be careful in that game to measure your stamina. But Grime is like a bit between that and something without a stamina bar. Like, you know, it's a bit more fast. There's a lot of platforming. There's more actions you can perform without using stamina. Like the parry doesn't use stamina, for example.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you do a perfect parry, yeah, it's great. That's an important mechanism in that game. But
Right.
that means that the challenging bosses are the ones where you can't merely learn to parry them. Like this boss has a secondary phase where all of his attacks become unparryable. So you have to learn how to dodge and just position yourself.
Right,
It becomes a platforming thing, essentially, right? So it took me a long time. Like, my mind has more trouble wrapping itself around that, I guess, than if the reactions are just like, you know, one kind, homogenous, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But I did it. It took like probably 100 attempts. But last weekend I did that. I played this week a bit of Nier Replicant as well.
That's
we discussed
right.
last week.
Sick.
Just get backing into Valheim. Yeah, there's a bunch of improvements I need to make to my fort. You guys can check that out on our YouTube videos. Actually, I walk around it pretty exhaustively all the time. Yeah, big giant wall. There's a dock coming together now because I realized trolls can attack the structure by wading through the river. So
Jesus,
need to build like a kind of like a dam in the middle. Keep them out. It's the next project.
it's fucking intense.
Probably gonna have to steal some stone from Jay. I'm sorry, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah. But other than that, man, I'm looking forward to Elden Ring. We spoke about before.
Oh, definitely.
Pokemon Arceus, which we were saying may well be the most exciting thing to happen to that franchise since we were children, right?
Yeah, it has to be the most ambitious thing they've come out with, I would say. It's really a shake-up, right? Like, the premise is that you're building the original or one of the original Pokedexes, and it's like very much a prequel game. It takes place far into the past. So they showed off some cool, like, Pokeballs with these latches, like ancient Pokeballs, right? It's so sick.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that it's just the application of the idea to new matter, you know, a new genre. Like,
yeah, like I mean, I could see it going either way. Like, you know, maybe some people won't like that, but I'm interested in playing a new form of Pokemon, and that's how it is, right? You're mapping out the Pokedex, so you're you're like, let's say, you know, Professor Oak or somebody in the fucking way of the past, discovering the Pokemon and not just like battling gyms and stuff. You're literally like writing the Pokedex, right? So it's probably going to be very different, but it's a cool, at least it's a different premise, not the same, you know, Battle 8 gyms, Victory Road, fucking Elite Four, whatever. And also that for the first time ever, everything happens on the overworld, so to speak, right? Like it's open world, and instead of transitioning from overworld to battle phase where it's turn-based, it's still turn-based, but it all happens real time in the overworld. Like I think your character even has a health bar because Pokemon can attack you. I could be wrong about that, but I remember reading that, and you naturally like just dynamically would throw out a Pokemon and then select your attacks and shit like that, I guess. And even with aiming a Pokeball, you have to actually like aim at the Pokemon and throw them. So it's like radically different mechanically, I'm assuming, and it just seems very ambitious. A new fucking, just a totally new thing, which is exciting in itself because, you know, whether it goes whichever direction it goes, if it's good or bad, but at least they're trying something, right? Like it's fucking, people
That's
criticize
exactly
them
right.
for stagnating, and I still play the Pokemon games and love them no matter how stagnated you want to call it. Like if it works for me, it works, right? But to shake it up is also seemingly a cool fucking thing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So we'll see how that goes.
I just, you know, as an exercise, I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing, right?
How can you not?
It's artistic in essence, the application of form to new matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's not radically new, like gameplay mechanics, they're still turn-based fucking combat, this and that. But it is a pretty big shake-up to the progression, at least.
Yeah.
Of that kind of game, which is by and large.
If it's a hit, I just want to say if it's a hit, like I wouldn't mind seeing them doing it in other regions. This one takes place in Sinnoh, which is the fourth, like Diamond and Pearl. But if they did in like Kanto and Yoto again, and they could expand on that, it would be cool shit, right? Just to see it in a new light.
I think so. Good, man. I'm looking forward to that as well. And Elden Ring, of course, is coming out soonest.
Elden Ring, absolutely. And then even that Final Fantasy, fucking, what was it called? Strangers of Paradise. I actually want to look up the release date because
that's cool because it's a Team Ninja game, really, right?
Yeah, definitely a Souls-like Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, Team Ninja.
That's not right. Is it June?
June
no
14th,
way.
2021, that said.
Oh, yeah, so that's a wrong date here.
March 18th.
Okay, March 18.
March, so it's even after
we got,
Elden Ring.
Yeah, so we'll have Pokemon
it's a good time
in January.
For Soulslike, yeah.
And then Elden Ring in February, and Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise in March. And that's a Souls-like Final Fantasy game. Like, come on.
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
Would I have to say any more to you?
Fuck yeah. Now I beat the thing. No, I'm excited for that. It's going to be a good fucking period for Souls-like.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool, man. And two of the fucking best developers of them as well. Of course, right?
Who's in there?
Team Ninja and fucking
Team Ninja.
From Soft, man.
That's right.
Two bigwigs.
I thought you meant specific people.
Oh no, these guys are pretty good too. I don't want to talk shit about.
For the Lords of the Fallen guys?
Deck 13, I believe.
Yeah.
They're both of their games are really cool.
What was their other one? I can't remember.
The Surge and the Surge 2.
The Surge, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah. The Surge one I haven't played actually, but I really love the Surge 2. I remember.
It's cool that their first game was this kind of like medieval setting, and then they went to the Surge 2, which was more of like a future.
Yeah, like near future, like fucking nano horror kind of shit.
It's cool to see that, right? That they can apply.
It was incredible. It was a good act of world building too. Like it was some techno crisis, like people induced by trying to experiment with nanites, and some girl ended up just fucking becoming conscious in a swarm of nanites after she died in a plane crash, and oh
jeez.
Yeah, you fight a lot of cool monsters. It feels really fast and zippy. They have a cool parry system, a cool dodging system. It's directional, all these things, and yeah, man, the way you chop off limbs.
Oh yeah, that's
parts.
right.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's really cool. They had a lot of neat innovations to the formula that I think many other games, though they're better by and large, they haven't even adopted yet. That they should, right? Didn't what the hell? Was it Mortal Shell that had something like that directional parry?
I don't remember that in Mortal Shell, to be honest.
It was a really cool mechanic in the Surge 2 where you can parry, but you have to like, you know, when you parry, like you see the attack coming from up, down, side, bottom, and when you hold the button, you have to tap it at the same time as the right analog stick to directionally block, and your character actually raises their weapon in the direction of the attack, right?
Don't remember what else that could have been
cool,
from,
man.
but
it must have been from something, but I think all games that do this should adopt that. That's really visceral, right? if the gameplay is supposed to be circumscriptive and convey like almost one-to-one your activity as the
so that's like
subject in the world, it feels like that
truly,
closely. It feels really tactile, right? You get in touch with it. It's harder at the beginning, but
for sure,
it becomes intuitive. And they have little like concessions, like it's really hard just by looking at the enemy's attack to identify that unless you're expert, right?
But it's like Sekiro, you eventually like probably learn the pattern. I feel like that would have been impossible though in Sekiro because that game's way too fast.
That's why though they give you here too, like there's a you have these like they're like gems in Bloodborne. You have these attachments you can equip to yourself outside your armor slots, and one of them gives you the direction that the attack.
Oh, like a little indicator.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Easy mode. There you go.
Yeah. It tells you which way. You still have to do it like within that fucking millisecond, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's fair. That's cool. I like that.
Oh man, I totally forgot to fucking side rail a little bit, but I was actually playing Skyward Sword the other day, and like they say Miyazaki and Souls and stuff wouldn't have come without like Zelda games and shit.
Yeah,
it's funny because I was playing like one of the bosses, and it has the same thing. You can't exactly parry, but they attack very fast, and they do enough damage to take away like a heart or a heart and a half. So like you can only take so many hits. It's actually somewhat of a difficult game, and like I was blocking most of the attacks because the way Skyward works when you're playing with the stupid motion controls is you can't just hold your shield out. You have to like shake the left Joy-Con, and then he pulls out his shield for like maybe like 3 seconds or so. So it's not quite a parry, but it's also like you can't just run around with your shield up to protect you. So you still have to like time it, right? And I was smashing it, like doing it perfectly almost every time, just like block, and it almost felt like a Souls fight, right?
Yeah,
that was one aspect of the game that was really cool. And it was funny because Leanna was tripping out the whole time. And I'm like, dude, like we played like Sekiro and like a ton of Souls game. Like this is nothing, right? But like she was like, oh my god, block, and like perfectly every time, right? Yeah. It was funny, and those moments in the game are so cool. The boss fights, that like some of that shit I was telling you about with the sort of tedium of the gamification, if you will, is just brings it down a lot for me, man. Fuck, like I like the game, but there's one segment, and it was actually probably one of the cooler of some of the tedious segments, but still, it's like, what am I doing? You're like going through this roller coaster thing, and you have to use the Joy-Cons to lean and aim so you don't fall off, and then you gotta like jump at the right time. It's like a Donkey Kong type of thing, and it's just like, why is Link doing this? Like, it's so funny, and I don't hate the game, but it just, I asked the question too much. That like, what is Link doing right now? Like, what the fuck is going on, right? They leaned into the mechanics too much, which is a shame because they have those cool boss fights too that are like a Souls game, right?
That's the problem with Nintendo games generally.
Yeah,
bro.
that's probably it, right?
Honestly, if I had to give you a reason I don't play those games by and large, it sounds funny, but that's 100% why. The closest I ever came to playing one recently was watching Adriana play fucking Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, that one's probably pretty cool, but...
Which looked, to me, the cool thing was, by and large, it looked 100% devoted to its own rules,
Yeah.
It didn't divulge...
Yeah, there wasn't like stupid mini game.
It didn't, indulge in these... It didn't indulge in these fucking little side things, just for the sake of goofy fun, right?
Skyward Sword is 100% the opposite direction. It's
I can't.
There's way too much there.
That's why I thought Mario Odyssey, I thought that game was kind of like just a total shambling mess.
Yeah,
it had
a lot
no
of people
core.
Liked it, but
it was Mario Party-esque. It had no essential form, right? It was just a jumble. It was
it's like
Mario pretending to be this
64.
and that.
You kind of collect stars and shit and whatever, and that kind of game I lose interest quickly. Like it was
just a series of mini games practically.
Yeah,
it had
pretty
no
much,
gameplay loop, right? It wasn't in a genre,
definitely,
I don't know. I thought that was crap. Like Nier does the same kind of thing.
It was like greatest hits of Mario, like
think
that
about
kind
how
of weird thing or something.
No, it's true.
Like,
but I was just playing Nier Replicant. Think about how in that game, like you frequently transition between seemingly different genres, but at the end of the day, it's the difference between playing the same action game isometrically or fucking 2D or normally. But just the gameplay loop doesn't change. Yeah, it's just supposed to convey that semblance. Here, the things you're doing. I played that game for like half an hour. I was like, what the hell am I doing?
Which one? Odyssey?
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
What is this? You're like a hat here, this and that.
Yeah, I grew quickly, like I grew tired very quickly.
Why is this form compelling for me to intentionally inhabit, right? Like,
true, I struggle with that
nuts.
shit.
Just nuts, yeah. Here, at least, there's some immediate goal and purpose, like the subject matter is interesting and what you're doing is intrinsically engaging, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's been the argument we probably would have made from Souls since the day they were born. Like they just seem to take the video game, you know, and really make it a fucking compelling experience.
Compelling medium,
something,
yeah.
like it's. I mean, we've obviously seen in the past before those games, but it's like
really that's when it came into its own adulthood, perhaps even like that. If there's one contribution we ever make to this discourse, I hope it's that, like, you know, I think really maybe you would agree, like Souls is even where things like the stuff that's latent in Zelda, you know, probably Souls is where that stuff really comes into its own, man. Even video game storytelling, you know, like outside of maybe stuff like the JRPGs, but even the kind of thing they were doing, I think is different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Those are more like novels about people and characters, but Souls is that weird act of like poetry, I think. You know what I mean? They're making stuff like it's cosmology and shit, like ancient Greek myths practically.
Yeah,
I think video games kind of grew up in a weird way, and that the medium like fucking ripened and everything that it could be.
Even Zelda came out better on the last one, or Breath of the Wild.
In the wake of that, sure.
Right? That's what I like to think anyway.
I agree, but I think like nothing can match the fucking purity of design and conception that Souls has for that reason. They're like, when the people like, this is what we can do with this medium. These are the kinds of concepts we can express, which are...
That would be why, you know, we've seen a plethora of Souls-likes, and it's infiltrated AAA, it's infiltrated AA, and even 2D games. Like it's got its footprint all over the place, right? So it's... And
the cool thing is it's gotten people into that kind of like world building, but in the sense that they're building like cosmologies, like visions of being and fucking
not
universe,
like specific narratives between person A and person B or whatever, right?
There is that in there too, though. They have a bunch of little side stories of people in there, you know?
It's baked in there, but it's not like forefront and center, right?
It's like Greek myths, man. It's not, you know, it's not humanistic, I guess. It's cosmological. The people are there to serve some vision of the world, right?
Yeah, we'll never stop fucking praising Souls games, I guess. A lot of it.
And the cool thing is that vision too, that orientation maybe towards the universal rather than the particular. Like it, you know, it bleeds into like the 2D entries too, right?
Oh, definitely.
All of the ones like Salted Sanctuary, you know, like fucking Grime I'm playing right now. All these games too have a similar like weird focus on like metaphysical things, that the character is like a giant problem in the, like a hole in being the character is trying to adjust or remedy, right? Like all of them are, even this one, Lords of the Fallen, you know, reality is being invaded from the outside.
It looks cool, man.
Yeah,
I'd be down to give it a run.
Yeah, I like that theme. I like these kinds of things. It seems really like, you know, like I was saying, how can you compare like what other games are doing in terms of what they're depicting to that, right? Like,
it
seems not as cool, not as beautiful in comparison, because its scope is mitigated, right? It's not as internally diverse, you know.
Well, you just got wrecked.
Yeah,
it's good to know that, like, at this point where we're at, even if you know, we're in like a drought or there's nothing really, there's always something to go back to.
Oh yeah,
I feel, right?
Tons.
We just are stupid and sometimes don't think about it, but like this is one.
This is a great one.
You know, I still want to play, and I've been saying this for a while. I should probably just get into it. Hellpoint.
Oh, that's another great one.
Yeah, right.
Man, like, Hellpoint is great. It's a Canadian game too.
Yeah, that one I feel like.
Hellpoint's so cool, man. You gotta play that. Did you buy that?
I don't have it. No.
Oh man, you should play that game. I'll give you one if you'll play it. I'll play it with you. There's.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
And I missed some stuff on my first playthrough. I have to do anew.
I really liked Mortal Shell too. That was a fucking cool one, man. I actually finished that game.
Hellpoint's not like that.
No way.
It's more committal, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's more brutal, yeah.
Longer for sure,
yeah,
right?
It's like 30 hours maybe. Yeah, not that bad, but...
It's okay, I'll clean up some other stuff and then I'll dive into there.
We'll
finish
give it a shot.
Tales.
That one's good. That one's essential,
Still running through Pokemon. I'm at the fucking Elite Four anyway, probably now, so...
Nice.
But those games, I always like having like one on the go on the side, just to like casually play for like half an hour before bed.
Yeah.
Catch some guys. It's just like a staple.
Yeah.
You know, for me, kind of.
For sure.
Doesn't really contribute to like my current playlist, I guess. Which right now is being obliterated by Battlefield. I'm the worst gamer on the planet.
I guess that's what Valheim has become to me.
Yeah, right. Just get sucked in.
Yeah. You know, perpetuating the same goal for a long time. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Break out of it.
Yeah, I really like Valheim. I'm fucking proud of that
Valheim's
server,
sick,
man.
though.
It's so sick. I can't believe how much work everybody's put into it. It's so cool to just walk around everything and look around.
See everything you guys have built, yeah.
Yeah, and more people want to come now, fucking definitely.
Join the server.
Yeah. Can have 10 on at once, but infinite on, you know.
Yeah, within like
times.
at least, 10 max, but
yeah.
at any given moment.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
As many people can join at any time if there's room, right?
For sure.
Let's say.
It is.
Wild fucking game. What was that Nightingale one that was like looked like Valheim on drugs? Was it Nightingale?
Yeah, it was Nightingale.
Holy
fuck, but it was like an FPS and stuff like that too. Yeah,
that looks like it's gonna be
It was town building
sick.
and stuff. One thing that I would appreciate in Valheim is like NPCs to incorporate into your settlement and stuff like that, right? Because it looks like that game will have it. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's like a AAA though, right? Whereas Valheim was super indie.
But even I bet you they're gonna add that before a full launch,
probably,
like something to justify your giant fucking base, other than your own self. Like, what about dudes playing alone? You know, and everybody playing together. You can't really share a base, right? Everybody wants to do different things. So.
Yeah, the future of that game, I guess, looks bright.
Yeah.
They're gonna work on it for a long time, I imagine.
Right now, you can have animals and stuff, but there probably is going to be a way to, like, you know, summon NPCs in some capacity to your base to inhabit it, right?
Yeah, that would
people
be
to live
sick.
there, like villagers to maybe make resources. I don't know, some automated process, maybe, right? Like, I don't think that would be crazy to anticipate.
Reminds me of like Age of Empires. I still kind of want to play Age of Empires 4, but I don't really have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah, me neither.
Right?
In that kind of RTS, what's the best case scenario? That you're playing Age of Empires 3?
Yeah.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know, man.
With better graphics.
If I was going to play an RTS these days, it would probably be Total War, Warhammer, the new one.
Oh,
you know?
Okay, yeah.
Those
I'm
are cool
pretty
games.
ignorant to those games. I don't really play them.
They're cool if you want to play an RTS.
I like
guess,
StarCraft, but fuck me, I can't
those
play
games
StarCraft
have a cool like overworld
nowadays.
component.
Yeah.
Where you like conduct the like a country's affairs, you know, and when it comes to battles, you actually go to the battle screen, and there's no like building a base on the screen while you're doing.
Oh, really?
Right?
Oh, okay.
You build like units from the map by clicking on your representation of a city on the map, and and all the battles, like you position your stuff. It's like warfare where flanks are
More
important
like,
and formations and.
What would it be? Like more like a grid-based, like XCOM or like.
It doesn't have grids, but like you don't move individual units like in StarCraft. You move like formations, units of characters.
Right.
You don't move like one guy at a time. That is, you move like whole blocks of characters.
Whole blocks of
And that's one thing. So you click on it, and it's like 50 guys or whatever, and their direction is important. You can flank and like.
Okay, that's
some
cool.
things have advantages and disadvantages, and yeah, it's great. And this one, instead of being like, they have all kinds of historical ones, Rome, Japan, all kinds. But this one is in the Warhammer fantasy universe. It's cool.
Right.
Yeah. It's nice. Good RTS.
Sounds fucking sick.
I like those games, but I feel they just don't have the same kind of substance at the end as something like a Souls or even a JRPG. Yeah. They're just too
more
like
mechanical for me.
That's
like,
right. They're too
know,
mechanical. That's right. Yeah.
And while I don't mind that, like
they're too
I
much
used
like
to
a
love
board game,
StarCraft,
right?
but
Like,
exactly, yeah. You feel like you're, and that's why like the part of it that I like is it would just be like the competitive aspect playing online, and that can only take you so far. Like I can't really sink into the campaigns too much because it kind of gets boring, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah,
that's right.
So it's the same as like a shooter for me. Like I like RTS in a sense that it's like StarCraft where it can be competitive, but leave the gravity of certain things to like a Souls game, and you know, Lords of the Fallen game looks pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit messed up.
Yeah.
I find that the basic mobs in it are rough. It's not like Souls where you can just mindlessly run through them after a while, right?
Yeah, just fucking
gotta be a bit careful.
Slaughtered, eh?
Yeah. Especially the ones with shields there.
Ooh. Cool shit.
Yeah, man.
What else we got past March? What do you think?
Coming next
not
year?
That we really have to get too deep into it, but
it was most of the stuff we talked about last week, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we keep regurgitating this. If you can't tell, we're really excited for the start of next year to come already.
It's been a drought, buddy.
That fucking Pokemon game is going to be the first one on my radar in 2022.
Yeah, it's been a drought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to those games too, you know?
Yeah. Will you give Pokemon a shot? Probably, right?
I'm going to try it.
Try it out.
I'll try that. I'll try that shit. Gonna have to buy it for Adriana anyway, so I might as well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. I haven't played a JRPG in a while. I want to get back into Persona.
Shin Megami, man.
Yeah, Persona. I keep calling it Persona. Shin Megami, yeah.
Same shit.
Shin Megami 5.
Shin Megami 5.
But even that, like, I don't know, man. It's bogging me down these days.
It's just
like
the
dialogue
you're
and
not ready for. Maybe I
don't mind the commitment. Like I can play like 8 hours of Valheim in a day if I had the time. You know what I mean? It's not the commitment so much as just the tedium of the task. It doesn't feel like immediately, you know, like purposeful in the way that playing a Souls-like game does, or even Valheim where you're building something, right? Like here, it's very like, you know, it's almost comparable to chess. Like there's a clear skill you're trying to master in pursuit of a determinate end, right? What are you doing in these games most of the time? You're waffling through like just this and that,
town to town.
You have to like commit to the people's motivations.
Yeah, I guess it's more like that for sure. Even like Tales would be too, but I really like got into Tales at first, and now it's kind of you know, like I want to finish it up just to kind of finish it, not that I'm like compelled. So
what do you think, like, though, like, does it take to just, you know, that feeling where you're like into the game and you're like, yes, I care about this guy and I want to know what happens. It's like you're reading a book or watching a movie where you suspend your disbelief, you buy into the world and you inhabit it intentionally, right? Like, I find that harder and harder to attain in games that have like just explicit character development and like people talking, and I have to care about the fiction, you know?
Yeah, I feel like
in a personal sense.
The only like exceptions for me is something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where I'm already like way predisposed to the fucking story, like, and the
lots
characters
of JRPGs,
itself, you know, like that. Just the fucking thing I already love to death. So
I get that. Yeah,
that would be an example of why it's easy for me to get into it, because I already just, you know, I love the whole world and the cast and the characters and everything like that. It's just, like, but that's mostly like kind of like a nostalgia thing almost, right? Where that feeds it a little bit, shit like that.
What's the standard though? Like what makes it, like, I know, what is that point where you can commit to it? Because I keep finding it harder and harder to discover these days. Like
maybe nowadays they just make shittier characters and situations, and I don't know. Like it's tough to say, but
better to build a cool world to live in than some kind of fucking, you know.
We were just more cynical now in our older age.
Probably a combination of these factors.
Yeah, it's multiple angles of things, right? Just
but there's also better things on the around, right? You can look at something that is more inspired in its concept and in its implementation, and you know, wonder why you're playing something where tedium is the mechanic and the concept is just nothing, just trivium, right? So yeah, that's the problem with me. Like, why not then just go back to Valheim? You know,
true.
If you're playing something, you don't care what this guy's talking about. You don't care what you're doing. You're just, and they don't give you a reason to.
Yeah, whereas it's, you know, at the end of the day, you're playing a video game, but whereas, like you're saying, go back into Valheim where you're immediately compelled and like you have that like magnetism towards
it's a constructive purpose at hand at all times, right? Like you're not like wandering around like wondering what you're up to.
Just
you know, like, okay, you finished talking here. Like,
I got that. I guess this year I would say like why I think Returnal is my game of the year. Like I had that with Returnal, right, where I was like super compelled to go back in, even if you had to replay segments because you die over and over and do the loop. It still felt like, you know, you wanted to see more of the world and unlock more of it. Like it's even when you're talking in Returnal or listening to talking, you're still moving, right? Like it wasn't just about Selena or whatever.
What a great act of world building too. The way they just conveyed everything, and it was like she was the character, but it was so impersonal, right? Like
definitely.
Even if by the end you felt like you inhabited her skin so like so intimately. You know? Yeah, the game was fucking nuts. Yeah, it was great. It got snubbed at the Game Awards a little bit. Yeah, it kind of did. I mean, it won one. I think it won like best action game or some shit like that, which is kind of like, whatever. All right. Yeah, well, deserved more than that. That's my game of the year, I think. Yeah, I think so too. It was a great game. I really enjoyed Returnal. Yeah. All around. It's not the kind of thing I think I could do again, though. No, I don't think I could ever play it again. Yeah, I heard they're adding more save states in this and that. Yeah, I heard that too. Maybe then I could actually. You know? Yeah, maybe. Fuck, who knows? Maybe going in for a fresh playthrough. I'm happy we did it at launch, though. Yeah, same. I guess we got the their true experience out of what they really wanted to say before the gaming media got their grubby hands in there and fucking, you know? Yeah, past the point, it's already out there. Fuck's sakes. Even Cyberpunk, I wouldn't mind playing a little bit again too. We've been talking about that recently. They're going to make an expansion, so that's when I'm going to... That would be cool, yeah, for sure. Get back into it for that. I think the main people are still there. It's not like they left, right? Yeah, I don't know. The talent they were treated fairly well after the launch of that game, despite the shit that went on.
Ooh, nice parry. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, you can kick them.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Just kicking them?
Because I use the weapon two-handed there, but you can just poof, every time he's about to attack. Yeah, that's good.
Cool shit, man.
This one's cool because you can bank your experience.
Really?
Yeah. Take it back and bank it up. And you can regenerate your health, and it doesn't respawn the characters, you know?
Some lords. Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
You can...
Yeah.
You can full heal without the characters respawning. That's like easy mode for souls, man. That's great.
Yeah. But that's why I guess they make the character such a pain in your ass.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
Fair enough. Then it's balanced, right? It's
yeah, it definitely works.
cool, man.
It's tough. Otherwise, it would be impossible. It would be literally impossible.
Oh, God. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah.
Words of the Fallen. There's 2 of these, aren't there? No, we said
the
this
second
last
one's
time.
coming,
You
but
said
it's
that,
made by a different developer. So
I was thinking of... What game was I thinking of? There's another one that has a... I think there's a sequel to it. I don't know. I'm losing one. Either Darksiders. I know there's 3 of those, but there's another game too that I feel like I'm missing. That's sort of like the same aesthetic and vibe, and I think there was 2 of them, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I am.
It would be
Darksiders.
Darksiders.
Yeah,
maybe number 1 looks a lot like this.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Darksiders.
Number 3 is a Soulslike. I want to play that too.
Yeah.
Number 2 is cool, but I haven't finished it. It's very much like Breath of the Wild with the random gear and like
really
a lot of wandering. But it's cool though. They're all cool games. They're all really cool games.
Mostly because the journalist didn't like it, so it's probably sick.
Yeah. And they have some interesting options that you can play it into. Like they have a way to play it with animation canceling.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
like Sekiro versus Dark Souls 1 mode. I guess.
Yeah.
But that might make it too easy. I don't really know. I personally hate animation locks.
Yeah.
I think that's artificial difficulty.
That is really a
the game should respond as fast as your mind. The limit should be your comprehension, you know? I think. Otherwise, you're measuring it by an artificial thing. The game's like a musical instrument, which is fine. I guess there's a rhythm to it, but wouldn't it be better, especially in terms of what you're trying to convey, if the limit was just what you're trying to convey versus the person's interpretation of it, right?
Yeah, I feel like in, let's say Sekiro, where they've managed to ease up on the animation locking, but they've still managed to incorporate difficulty. It's like better baked into the game. You know
Actually,
what I mean?
theirs is a perfect balance, right? You get animation locked once you commit to the. The attack has like an initial swing,
right?
And before you get here, you can stop the attack and
there's
go into a dodge or a block,
of no
right?
fucking return.
But after after it would contact,
yeah.
Which is great. It's great.
That makes sense.
It does, yeah.
It's just better integrated, right? It would be cool Bloodborne, where you get super locked into Bloodborne. I remember feeling like a second feels like an hour. You're just like, holy fuck.
It forces you to be patient and responsive. I get the form of movement they're trying to convey. I do enjoy that too, but it's just way more exhilarating.
Get punished very, very quickly and easily for taking, one risk, maybe, let's say, right? Now, I can't tell you how many times I've died to a boss where I'm doing so good, and then, like, right at the end, I'm like, I got this, and you just get a little too greedy, and they fucking boom, and you're like, fuck! All you had to do was dodge one more time and go in for one more attack, and you would have beaten him, but I was like, ugh. You get, like, antsy, right? You want to, like, finish it off, right? Great game, too, but yeah, you get those moments, and they burn you.
Definitely.
I'm sure Sekiro has shit like that too, but it's it's kind of different, I guess. It's faster and
ideally it would be a case where the thing is complex enough that it takes you time to understand it, and when you misunderstand, you fail.
Yeah.
When you understand and you respond appropriately, the limit isn't that you're trying to respond but you can't, right?
Yeah, true.
I think that should be. Although, like again, in Sekiro, there's places where it does make sense to commit people to their action, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And broader cases where not really.
Well, that's like when you get like stunned though, right? Or shit like that. If what's it called when you have like the posture gauge and they fill it up, and then you get fucked, right? That's one way of locking you out, but that's just totally different baked system.
Posture is just like poise made into a gauge, I think, right? Like, the old ones had poise. That's before you got staggered.
Right.
You could take damage until it made you stand there, and then the guy could just smoke you.
Just fucking just wreck your day. Good times.
Yeah, it's neat how the games have evolved. That's what I would hope to see when it, in the future iterations of the Souls-like genre, that
evolution without giving in to.
Yeah, no locking and no animation locks to let people, like, at least in certain cases, except where it seems inappropriate. You know, as a general rule, you should be able to break the animation unless it's the kind of thing that would lock you, right? Like a guy over swinging, or the last quarter of the animation, maybe, right? Like, yeah, I think it makes it better that way. And then they can build enemies that are more demanding because your ability to respond is quickened.
And yeah, they've added like attacks that can't be blocked or parried that you have to dodge. So that's also a way to keep it engaging, right?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty cool shit. Love those games. Can't wait for fucking Elden Ring. Can't wait for Pokemon. Can't wait for Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise.
Yeah.
Is FF16 supposed to come out next year, or they haven't said? Do we know?
It's supposed to, but...
yeah, who knows, right?
Who knows with COVID and this and that these days.
Fucking A, bud.
See how it goes. Yeah, what does that say there? Take a...
Rumors have been that it's going to be June 2022. I can wait, as long as it's fucking a sick Final Fantasy game when it launches.
Yeah, man, I think it's
fucking
gonna be good.
in good shape. Can wait for it.
Thank you guys for tuning in again to listen to our ramblings. It's been a great time. Play your Souls-like games, and we'll be back next week to talk to you about more.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah. Thank you.